Recently, over these past few weeks, life has been kicking me to the curb a bit, and because of it, I've been forced to dig pretty deep within myself and confront the person before me. Long story short, I dug pretty fucking deep, and I couldn't help but feel even more scared and confused than I ever have been before. Whether it's watching yourself shift into a man or woman you no longer recognize, struggling with the overwhelming sense of feeling behind in your life, or that you're feeling not only yourself but everyone else around you. Or even worse, having a clear cut idea of the kind of man you want to be, but not making the kind of progress you desperately wanted to make. And honestly, man, it all feels so overwhelming. Now, when it comes to dealing with those kinds of feelings, it straight up fucking sucks, dude. And it leaves you feeling just straight up miserable, exhausted, and above all else trapped. And it's suffocating, plain and simple. Fortunately, though, I was able to get myself back on track after a therapy session that had me realize an incredibly important lesson that I wanted to go ahead and share with you today. Now, that lesson is, not having your shit together is perfectly normal. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about just that, and how I went on to manage all these screwed up feelings while you watch me build this quarry in Minecraft. Now, to get into this, what led me to that realization, and how did I manage all these god-awful feelings? Funnily enough, it was by seeing my partner go through the same exact thing over those last few weeks as well. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a very wonderful partner who works as a call taker for a 911 dispatch center. Long story short, over the last few months, she was struggling with her fulfillment within her job. She previously went into it thinking that was a career path for her, or that she did have the potential to enjoy her work, but more and more, the feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and discontentment with her job began to creep in. When she was previously so excited to get into this job, she was now at the point where her depression was coming back full swing, and each shift left her feeling more and more miserable in comparison to the last. And it left her feeling absolutely suffocated with no way out. Like between stressing about finances from quitting a job, the stigma from leaving, or feeling like a failure if she did quit, your mind truly begins to go into some pretty dark corners. And let me be the first to tell you, the corners were pitch black in her mind. And honestly, it was just straight up hard to see the woman that I loved so much become more and more despondent by the day, seeing the light fade from her eyes with her questioning her life along the entire fucking way. But the hardest part about it all was knowing that I couldn't help her the way that she needed me to help her. During that period, I tried getting her the help that she needed, tried getting her out of the house, tried having an optimistic outlook on everything. But dude, sometimes the only thing you can do is ride out the storm when it comes to depression. But even then, this storm was hard to weather. Now, the thing that I love most about my partner is the fact that she feels as much as she does. It makes her an incredibly empathetic person who has so much love to give to this world. Now, the downside to that empathy, though, is that you feel every single emotion more and more, and especially the negative ones too. And during this entire period, she was definitely feeling all the negative emotions. When I tried helping her out of it, I began to grow frustrated over the lack of impact that I left and how I felt like I was barely helping. I take her out of the house hoping she could maybe find a reason to enjoy life again. I talked to her for hours begging her to leave without understanding why she was so hesitant to do so. And that lack of understanding pushed her further and further down that hole she was already so stuck in, and I struggled to cope with that fact. She continued to go into work more and more, coming back worse off every single time, and eventually we reached our breaking point. When shit was at its worst, we went to her therapist and had a conversation that put some hope on the table. When we were in that office, we told her therapist everything. The feelings of hopelessness, the anxiety of quitting, the uncertainty behind not knowing where to even proceed, her not knowing where she even belonged in this world, struggling to manage the depression, and how much it was affecting her quality of life. After listening to her explain everything, my girlfriend's therapist then said something that was pretty fucking simple. Yet we somehow always neglected. She said the words, "You're in your early 20s. You're not meant to have your shit together, my man." The reason why that sentence left such an impact on us was that it made me realize that we never gave ourselves credit for how far we've come, yet we still compared ourselves to the people who were vastly older and more experienced. My girlfriend thought she was in the wrong for not knowing or understanding where her passions lied, and was hard on herself for leaving this job for another one. Yet the average person changes their career 7 times within their lifetime. She was hard on herself for feeling behind in this life when the average age of her coworkers were 30 through 40 when they already experienced these lessons when she was barely a kid. She felt wrong for wanting to have a career that better suited her values, despite the fact that she was probably making the most responsible and reasonable thing she could have fucking decided to do. What I realized in that office was that by quitting a job, it's infinitely better than quitting on yourself. And I'm so proud of the fact that my partner had the courage to prioritize herself and her relationship instead of letting her work further consume her. Because you see this sort of thing all the time. Millions of people that are discontent and empty from a lifetime of working jobs they were never truly passionate about, and it basically allows them to become more and more of a husk every single day. And if you get anything from this video, I want you to realize that it doesn't have to be you either. Give yourself some grace sometimes and quit the miserable environments or habits that you're in before you opt to quit on yourselves. After that therapy session, my girlfriend and I made a collective decision together. She would put in her notice of resignation that same day and we would explore her passions. Currently, she's going down a route that she wanted to try for a very long time and is finally on the right track towards getting a career that fulfills her. I can definitively say that there has been a massive increase in our quality of life despite that pay cut. Now, with that out of the way, I now want to shift gears and talk about how I manage a lot of these feelings for myself. Now, the truth is, sometimes it's still a struggle, but I have found things that allow me to regain my sense of self again, and by far the most important means of doing so was reconnecting with the things that I legitimately enjoy doing. For example, any of you who watched my previous videos probably know that I love jujitsu. Now, jiu-jitsu has been one of those things in my life that I always felt a strong passion for. I love the technical skills required to out-wrestle somebody infinitely bigger and stronger than you, the grit you develop after being placed in incredibly tough scenarios, and the peace and satisfaction that I feel when I'm able to see myself grow more and more in my abilities. But I fucked up, dude, because despite my passion for that art, I allowed my life to burden me. I focus on work, finances, studying so much that I left virtually zero room for anything else on my table. Sure, my performance at work was good, but my headspace sure shit wasn't. I felt so lost and miserable because of it, and I look back at the person that I was before, and I realized that I lost sight of the things that made me happy. And so, it was time for me to follow my passions more. I've been focusing on re-engaging in my hobbies more lately, and I already feel 10 times better. I hope that I can maintain it, because I neglected myself emotionally for the sake of work, and I never truly allowed myself to enjoy what life had to offer. And I do not want you to make the same exact mistake. Get back into your hobbies, man. Even if it's just for a moment, just schedule time to reconnect with the person that you are. Understand that life is going to be overwhelming, but that doesn't mean that you have to let it drown you either. Learn that it's okay to take it easy sometimes. It's okay to take a break from time to time. It's okay to want to enjoy living. When you prioritize work for 99% of your life, the depression and burnout is going to hit with a vengeance, and it's your body's attempt to basically get you to rediscover the things that legitimately fulfill you. So fulfill yourself, my man. Keep playing your guitars, find that time to go out to the gym or watch that movie you've been meaning to watch, get back into jujitsu. Whatever it fucking is, do it and do it for yourself. Because I never want you to become as miserable as I was. So learn from my mistakes so that you can be the person that you were meant to be. Now, that's why I really wanted to get off my chest with this video, and I hope you got some use out of this. But hey, this brings me to the end of this video. Before I go though, I'm just going to go ahead and recap what we talked about here. And starting off, first and foremost, I need you to understand that it's okay to feel lost at life. Your 20s and up is going to be pretty chaotic for you because those are your formative years. We're supposed to figure it out during this period, and chances are 99% of the people out there don't have their shit squared away anyways. They're just good at hiding it. Number 2, if you're feeling lost, hopeless, and depressed, ask yourself this simple question. What have I been doing for me? Have you been taking time to reconnect with the parts of yourself you loved? The hobbies you loved? If the answer is no, then maybe it's burnout rearing its ugly head. The excuses I used to tell myself from my lack of self-care led to me being infinitely more fucked up coincidentally. Now, when I took that time to focus on the things that I loved, my work became infinitely more enjoyable because I was able to finally decompress and have an outlet to invest all that negative energy. Lastly, focus on your passions and do shit for you instead of doing things that everyone else expects of you. By neglecting your own passions in life, you'll be subjecting yourself to a lifetime of unfulfillment and silent resentment that's just going to get worse and worse, and it's not worth it, my guy. But hey, that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one, okay? But I love you all, and take care.